You're getting tapped out by people who started after you. You might know dozens of different techniques, you've watched every instructional, you drill religiously, but when it comes time to execute, you're still getting owned by people with half your technical knowledge. I've been in your shoes. I've watched countless grapplers hit this same wall. You know the moves, you understand the concepts, but something's missing. Actually, it's two things that most people completely overlook. First, there's a gap between knowing techniques and actually mastering a complete system. Second, your physical attributes might be sabotaging everything you're trying to do technically. I'm going to break down the complete roadmap to grappling dominance. We're talking about 6 technical elements that separate good grapplers from great ones, plus 5 physical attributes that make your technique actually work when it matters. I'll also explain why most grapplers stay mediocre and what you need to do to break through. What's really happening? Why do most grapplers plateau? The biggest problem I see is technique collecting. People get obsessed with learning new moves instead of mastering principles. They're constantly hunting for the next YouTube video or seminar, thinking that's going to transform their game. But knowing more moves doesn't make you more dominant. The second issue makes people uncomfortable to discuss. Many grapplers refuse to acknowledge their physical limitations. They get muscled out of positions by supposedly less technical opponents. And instead of addressing the real problem, they just tell themselves they need more technique. Meanwhile, they're gassing out before they can implement any game plan, getting their grips broken easily and wondering why their beautiful technique doesn't work when they're exhausted. What actually creates dominant grapplers? Let me break down the technical foundation you absolutely must have. The first element is positional mastery and understanding the hierarchy. This means developing unshakable control in dominant positions and smooth transitions between them. Most people think they understand positions, but they're really just going through the motions without truly controlling their opponent. You need to know the specific pressure points and control mechanisms for each position. When you're in side control, you should feel like an immovable object. When you transition to mount, your opponent should feel your weight sitting on them like a boulder. This comes from understanding how to use your skeletal structure to create crushing pressure. Second is grip fighting and hand control. Your grips control everything in grappling. If you can't establish and maintain grips, your entire game falls apart. Most people approach grips wrong. You need to understand the grip hierarchy, knowing which grips to fight for and which ones to give up, and developing systematic approaches to breaking your opponent's grips while maintaining your own. This ties directly into the third element, timing and reading your opponents. Elite grapplers aren't executing random techniques. They're reading movement patterns, recognizing reactions, and capitalizing on openings. They understand action-reaction sequences and can predict what their opponent will do before they do. This is fight IQ, and it separates technicians from grappling monsters. The fourth element is submission mastery, but not how most people think about it. It doesn't mean knowing 100 different chokes. It means mastering 10 high percentage submissions so completely that when you get the grip, the fight is over, period. Elite finishers develop submission chains. They don't just go for one technique and hope it works. They set up multiple attacks that flow seamlessly into each other, so even if you defend the first attempt, you're walking directly into the second or third. The fifth element is defensive systems and escapes. You're going to end up in bad positions. That's inevitable. What separates good grapplers from great ones is how they handle adversity. You need systematic escape sequences from every bad position. And more importantly, you need to develop the ability to turn defense into offense. The best grapplers make you pay for putting them in bad spots. The sixth technical element is the mental game and psychological dominance. This means staying calm under pressure while simultaneously breaking your opponent's composure, imposing your game plan instead of just reacting to whatever your opponent does. Mental toughness is maintaining your approach even when things get chaotic, and using pressure, both physical and psychological, to make your opponents crack. Most grappling advice stops right there, and that's exactly where the real problem begins. Everything I just described requires a physical foundation that most grapplers simply don't have. This is the uncomfortable reality that nobody discusses. You can have perfect technique, but if you don't have the grip strength to actually control your opponent, your technique is useless. You can know every escape in the book, but if you don't have the explosive power to execute them when you're tired and under pressure, you're still getting smashed. You can understand every detail of proper pressure passing, but if your core strength gives out halfway through the pass, you're getting swept. This is why technical knowledge alone will never be enough. Most grapplers hit a wall that they can't break through with more drilling. The elite grapplers, who seem to effortlessly dominate everyone, have figured out something the rest of us are missing. They combine technical mastery with physical dominance, and that combination creates truly unstoppable grapplers. Think about the grapplers you admire most. Gordon Ryan, Andrei Galvao, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Yes, they have great technique, but they also have physical attributes that make their technique devastating. Gordon's crushing pressure and grip strength, Galvao's explosive power and conditioning, Khabib's relentless strength and cardio. These aren't coincidences. These are the result of systematic physical development designed specifically for grappling dominance. What are these physical attributes that make technique actually work? Let me break down 5 physical elements that every dominant grappler must develop. The first is crushing grip strength. Your grips are literally your weapon in grappling. When you establish a collar tie, sleeve grip, or seat belt, your opponent should feel like they're caught in a vice. Most grapplers have pathetic grip strength and wonder why they can't control anybody. Real grip strength isn't just squeezing harder, it's grip endurance, so you can maintain control throughout an entire match. It's having the finger strength to establish grips that your opponents simply cannot break. And it directly transfers to submission finishing power. When you lock up a rear naked choke or kimura, your opponent should know immediately that they're in serious trouble. The second physical element is functional core power. Your core is the power transfer station between your upper and lower body. Every bit of force you generate, every movement you make, it all flows through your core. We're not talking about doing crunches and planks. We're talking about anti-rotational strength that lets you defend takedowns and maintain posture. We're talking about explosive core power that lets you execute sweeps and transitions with authority. Most grapplers have weak cores, disguised as a technique problem. They think they're getting swept because they don't understand the mechanics, when really they're getting swept because they don't have the core strength to stop it from happening. Your core needs to be so strong that when someone tries to break your posture or off-balance you, they feel like they're trying to move a statue. The third element is grappling specific strength, functional strength that works on the mats. So that would mean pulling power that lets you control opponents in the clinch and on the ground. Isometric strength that lets you maintain positions even when your opponents are desperately trying to escape. The kind of strength that makes your guard retention feel effortless and your pressure passing feel inevitable. The problem is that most grapplers either skip strength training entirely or they do generic gym programs that don't translate to grappling performance. The fourth element is combat conditioning. You can have all the technique and strength in the world, but if you gas out after the first scramble, none of it matters. Combat conditioning is developing the anaerobic power for explosive scrambles and the aerobic base for long matches. It's being able to recover between rounds when everyone else is still breathing hard. Think about how grappling actually works. It's not steady state cardio. It's explosive bursts of high intensity activity followed by brief recovery periods. Your conditioning needs to match these demands. You need to be able to go full intensity for 30 seconds, recover for 10, and then do it all again for an entire match without your technique falling apart. The fifth physical element is movement and injury prevention. This is the most overlooked aspect of grappling preparation, but it's absolutely critical for long-term success. You need hip mobility for guard work and attacks. You need healthy shoulders that can handle consistent gripping and framing. You need the movement quality and durability to train consistently without breaking down. Most grapplers train until they get injured, take time off to recover, and then repeat the cycle. Meanwhile, the smart ones are investing in movement quality and injury prevention so they can train consistently for years and decades. Consistency trumps intensity every single time. Most grapplers know they need to work on their physical attributes, but they have no idea how to do it effectively. They either skip it entirely and hope their technique will save them, or they grab some random program of the internet that was designed for football players or bodybuilders. These generic programs not only don't help your grappling, they often make you worse by building the wrong kind of strength and conditioning. Bodybuilding splits that focus on isolation exercises make you slower and less functional. Powerlifting programs build strength in ranges of motion that don't match grappling demands. Generic cardio programs develop the wrong energy systems. You end up spending hours in the gym getting stronger and more conditioned for activities that have nothing to do with grappling. This is exactly why I decided to partner with MadStrong.com. MadStrong is designed specifically for BJJ and grappling sports. It's not a generic fitness program that's been slightly modified for martial arts. It's built from the ground up by people who understand what grapplers actually need. You go to the website and fill out a detailed assessment that covers your current abilities, your training history, your limitations, and specific goals. Then MadStrong uses that information to build a completely customized 12-week program just for you. We're talking about periodized training that progresses systematically, with different phases focusing on different aspects of physical development. I tried it myself, and what impressed me most was how specific everything was to grappling. The exercises weren't just generic movements. They were specifically chosen to improve grip strength, core stability, pulling power, explosiveness, and grappling-specific conditioning. The program included proper warm-ups, detailed progressions, and even recovery protocols. Everything was designed to integrate seamlessly with my existing grappling training. After just a few weeks on the program, I started noticing differences on the mats. My grips felt stronger and more secure. I wasn't getting as tired during hard rolls. My pressure felt heavier and more crushing. These weren't subtle changes. These were noticeable improvements that directly translated to better grappling performance. The program I received broke things down into 3 4-week phases. The first phase focused on building a foundation of functional strength and movement quality. The second phase integrated more explosive, grappling-specific exercises. The final phase brought everything together with high-intensity conditioning that matched the demands of competition. Each phase built logically on the previous one, and I could feel my physical capabilities improving week by week. What makes MadStrong really different is that it's specifically designed to make you a better grappler. Every exercise, every progression, every workout is chosen based on how it will improve your performance on the mats. That's the kind of specificity you simply can't get from generic programs. The programs are designed to be efficient. We're talking about a few workouts a week that complement your grappling training instead of competing with it. You're not spending hours doing unnecessary exercises. Every minute is focused on improving your grappling performance. A single session with a qualified strength and conditioning coach who understands grappling can easily cost $100 or more. MadStrong gives you 12 weeks of completely customized programming for a fraction of that cost. If you're serious about taking your grappling to the next level, you can use my coupon code MINMAXING for 25% off your first program. That's MINMAXXING for a 25% discount. Stop making excuses why other people are dominating you. Stop telling yourself that you just need to learn more techniques. The path to grappling dominance is clear. Master the technical elements, develop the physical attributes that make your technique work, and approach both aspects systematically. Your competitors are already doing this. The question is whether you're going to join them or keep wondering why your technique isn't enough. The choice is yours, but I can tell you this. The grapplers who commit to complete development, both technical and physical, they're the ones who end up dominating everyone else. Don't let this be another video you watch and forget about. Take action, use the discount code, start addressing your weaknesses systematically, and commit to becoming a complete grappler you know you can be. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, start training today, stay consistent, and I'll see you next time.